Hi, I'm Jill Fraser. I've been a miniaturist for over 30 years, and I started this YouTube channel to share my work with you and to show you some of the things that I do and how I do them, and to show you how I meet some of the challenges that I find in my workshop from day to day. So I hope you enjoy this video. Hi there. Well, it's been a pretty busy couple of days. My mother has had a lovely birthday celebration. We decorated, or my nieces decorated the marquee at a vineyard, and I've decorated her car, and we took her off there and we had a lovely lunch and met lots of family that we hadn't seen for a while, and she really enjoyed herself. So, she got a card from the King, and she got a card from our Prime Minister, and one from the Governor General, and one from the Minister of, what Roger says, the Minister of Old People, but is really the Minister of Senior Services or something. And so she's pleased and happy with those. And I'll just show you a little still of my mum sitting in a wheelchair having a glass of wine. And now I'll show you what I managed to do in between times and between visitors. I started doing a little chest again using recycled timber, so I'll show you what I was doing with that. And then after that I'll take you to the garage and show you what my plans are for the top floor of the Tudor house. So first of all, the little chest. I started to do something this morning, and I thought, oh, this is interesting. This will interest a few people. So what I decided I'd make another chest like this with the same kind of hinge system. And I thought I'd show you how to do that. And then I was looking through my box of old wood, and I found these pieces. Now, these had been part of my 1930s dollhouse that was made from a tea chest, and the staircase was all out of scale. So I'd taken it out. And I quite liked the wood, so I'd kept the wood. And then I was thinking I'd make a chest out of this. I was thinking I'd make it like, fronts and backs like that. And it had these pieces on the side. And when I had a look at an old piece that was broken, I realised that they'd used a kind of a rabbit glue, because this would have been in the 1930s, to hold it all together. It had that kind of look about it. My dad used to use this. So I thought, oh well, I'll soak them in hot water and see if it loosens up the glue. And it did. And all the little bits came away quite satisfactorily. And now I'm just going to let it dry, and I'm going to remove some of these other pieces, clean them up a little bit, and then I'll cut them to size and I'll start to put them together. So they've already got their little corner posts already done. So it's going to look quite good. I'm quite keen to try this, so I shall see you shortly. I'll come back and show you the next stage. So I've been measuring and cutting and tidying up, and I finally narrowed my pieces that I need for my chest down to the two ends, two fronts and back that I cut separately, and I have two pieces of native curry, New Zealand curry. It's actually Rimu. I think it's Rimu. And so I've got, this chest is kind of global. It's got English oak and it's got New Zealand curry. Yes, it is curry. And that'll be the top and the bottom. And so for the top, to accommodate the hinges, I have to cut two little slots like this. And that means then that I will screw in some eyelets, and the eyelets will fit in the slots, and I will drill through from the end to about there, and a pin will go across through the eyelet and swing on the so the pin will swing on the eyelet. So there we go. It's a bit hard doing this one-handed. I have painted inside green. I've got a bit of tiddling up to do, but that's fine. So that's good. So the next thing will be to glue my pieces together. So I'll just show you this. It's not finished because I've got to decorate it, and I've done some remedial work on it because it was a few holes and things. And remembering I'm using a repurposed kind of a panel, and it wasn't all even, so I've got a little bit of crookedness going on there that I've got to try and somehow deal with. but I'll just show you how I did the mechanism. So I glued up my chest. I used this little metal square, set square kind of thing, and I used magnets to hold them in place, and that worked out quite well. But I'm using recycled timber and panels, and they weren't even, and so it made life a bit difficult. So I've got a bit of a crookedness going on the back, but it'll be against the wall, so it won't show. And I'll just show you how I did the hinges. I got the top. It has to be wood because it has to be able to take a bit of pressure. I sawed the little grooves in with my saw. I drilled a hole with a very fine drill, and I took it right through to about there, the length of a brad actually. Did it on both sides, and that's why it's important to have a very close grained wood, because you don't want it splitting. If this hadn't have been kauri or rimu, it looks like rimu, which is very hard, that would have broken off. And for the same reason, you can't use MDF, because MDF would split as well. So it's really important to use a close grained wood when you're making these chests. This is rimu, and I did the same thing. I cut a groove, I drilled a hole, and then I screwed in. I'll show you. Oh no, I can't show you because I've glued those in. But I screwed in two little eyelets that sit there, and the nail goes through the eyelet and it pivots the lid on the eyelet. This is all unfinished, so I haven't done any finishing work on it. And what I've done with these brads is I put a little bit of super glue on the ends where it first goes into the wood, and that stops those pins from falling out every time you move your chest around. So that lid system is really good because it's quite an easy thing to do. Now the next thing I'm going to be doing with this chest is I'm going to be doing some decoration on it, and I might even have some sort of a catch that comes down here with another decorative panel. So there's still a bit of work to do on it. And the other thing that's important when you're making these chests, I haven't painted it so I can show you. I've had to round the back edge. I've rounded it on the top of the back, and I've rounded these bigger pieces because when your lid comes up, it hits it, and it won't open fully if it can't get past that edge. So it's really important. You can see how crooked my back part is. Don't look at that. I can't do anything about it now. It's all glued up. But it won't be that noticeable once it's in the house. So yes, so it's really important to smooth that back edge around so that your lid can come back and fold back on it. So there we go. And I think Roger is just telling me that I've got a cup of coffee. So I shall come back with something like my decorations tomorrow. And I've also got to show you my plans for my remaining top floor of my house. So I'm going to do that, and I shall see you shortly. So in the garage now, and so for those of you who've been following my video, you'll notice that when I do something, I actually draw very detailed plans, and this is in the half scale for a 12 scale house, so I couldn't get it all on one sheet, so obviously I made it small. And so this gave me the end part of the house, which is the other end of this house. So from that kind of idea, I'm making up plans for this story and the roof. And so I drew it out in 12 scale. Whoops. And so this is what this end of this house is going to look like. I'll show you. I'll just hold it in place. So it's going to look like that. So you can see the chimney goes up, and it goes, and now you'll notice that my back area, the roof line isn't quite so steep. And the reason why I did that was that I want to be able to see into the back, like all of the other things, all the other rooms that you can see in the back. And I know my chimney's just fallen down because I heard it. But the roof line then will come, it'll come out here about there, and so you'll be able to see in. Whereas if I'd brought it down the same angle, you wouldn't be able to see much through there. And that's the reason why I did that. And that came about when I was drawing up my plan. So it pays to actually draw up a plan, because then you can make all the alterations on it. This is the roof of the dormer window coming out there. I'll do 2, and I've got to do a detailed drawing of this part before I build it, so I know what size to do my 3D printed windows. And then I'll be ready to cut the floor. Now, Roger went and got a piece of plywood for the floor, and it was bowed, and the guys in the timber yard said, oh, they can straighten that out easy enough. So I wet it down and I put some wood on it, and I put my very heavy scroll saw on it, and it looks like it's gone flat. I'm just hoping that that has gone flat, or give me a poultice of woe, as I'm happy to tell people. So tomorrow I'll be doing my Tudor floor and also finishing off my chest. So I shall see you then. I'd just like to finish with a quick reminder for those of you who haven't looked at the channel membership yet. It does give you full access to my digital magazine and all the back issues and any other little extras that I throw your way. So please have a look.